Good evening, everybody. My name is Mia Johnson, and I'm the chapter president of the National Coalition of 100 Black Women, the Dallas Metropolitan Chapter. Listen, you are in for a treat. We have a special guest with us today. Her name is Dionne Jones, and we're going to be talking about nutrition and fitness today. It's a very unpleasant for some topic, but I promise it's going to be worth it to listen in today. So let me tell you a little bit about Dionne. Dionne Jones is a geriatric fitness specialist and owner of Full Circle Fitness. She partners with Silver Sneakers approved senior centers in Northeast Ohio to coach older adults in obtaining a highly functional quality of life along with the aging continuum. After spending 15 years working in the school social work, medical social work, and the last 7 years in the fitness industry, Dionne knows the positive impact health and wellness has on aging and mental health. Dionne is a National Academy of Sports Medicine certified personal trainer and senior fitness specialist. Dionne holds a Bachelor of Arts in Gerontology from Kent State University and a Master of Social Science Administration from Case Western Reserve University. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I want to welcome and say thank you to Dionne Jones for being with us today. Thank you so much, Dionne.
Well, thank you so much, President Johnson, and hello to my sisters of the Dallas Metropolitan Chapter of the National Coalition of 100 Black Women from the Greater Cleveland Chapter. I am so excited to be here this evening to talk to you about something that is near and dear to my heart. So, I am ready.
Absolutely. I'm so glad to be partnering with my coalition sister on nutrition and fitness. It's something that we talk about, and it's a buzzword that we talk about because, I mean, as African Americans, we like to eat. And sometimes we don't necessarily eat the right things, Dionne. We don't always like to eat the right things. And so I'm coming to you. Co-sis to co-sis. We got to talk about some things. And so
Definitely.
My first question, let's just dive right into it. My first question, what are nutritional challenges for African Americans?
Well, to look at our challenges, we have to look at it in a historical context. We often hear a lot of times that, well, the slaves had to eat scraps and this is soul food and this is the connection to our ancestors. And if you really look at it, what they bought over and what our ancestors ate were grains, fruits, vegetables. They were allowed to fish. They were allowed to garden. So those are foods from the earth. Mm-hmm. So along the way, the challenge became the westernization of our food, learning how to fry things and making things not in the healthiest. So it wasn't the fact that we ate the scraps that were given, it was that the Western influence started creeping in and we started adding more fat and salt in the process of the way we made our food. So that's wherein lies our food challenges. And they've led to many diseases. We know we hear the typical diseases, Black people in obesity or African American people in diabetes type 2, certain cancers like prostate cancer and breast cancer are caused by foods or diets. So we hear that in hypertension, definitely. Mm-hmm. So those are our challenges. Absolutely. But there are definitely ways, and some of it is hereditary, but I still think that's only a portion of it. So I am excited to talk about that this evening, how we can get out of that mindset of always trying to blame the past on where we're at now. It plays a part, but it's not the entire part.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying there is a correlation then between how we were taught as African Americans, how we were taught to eat, our traditions of eating, and the challenges with obesity and diabetes. There's a correlation between the two.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, not what we eat, because you can eat a piece of pork. It's just how you make it, roasted versus frying some bacon. So
that makes sense.
So yeah.
This is I just popped into my head. So do you, and maybe this is something you can tell me, why is it that if you go a long period of time without pork, let's say, you know, I know for me, I lived overseas for about a year and I did not eat pork the entire time. I was not because it just wasn't there. It just, I don't know. I just didn't eat pork the whole time I was there. And I came back home, came back to the States, and we had a, you know, a little shindig or something at the house, right? And had some pork chops, and I had a headache out of this world.
It made you
And it was
sick.
the type of headache that turned me off. I don't want it anymore. I don't want to smell it. I don't want to taste it. I don't want to touch it. It turned me completely off. Why do you think that is?
And once again, our country has lower regulations on food and processing and chemicals that are put into food,
Mhm.
how it's made, fried versus over roasted, grilled. It's just certain things that increase the negative effects of a food. And this combination is a chemical combination, actually, like the frying of the pork,
Mhm.
the breading, white bread, white flour, that has a negative impact on our body. So when you're combining all these negative things together into one dish, you get the headaches, you get the stomach discomfort. I mean, I was raised vegetarian. So yes, the first time I ate it, I was 18, sick as a dog, just sick,
Wow.
because my system wasn't used to it. But there are some things about pork, especially like I said, where we live in America, there are just different standards
That's
of
true.
how meat is processed, and we won't get into the disgusting portions of it this
Right.
evening.
Spare me, please.
But yes, that is a great point, and definitely a factor, a huge factor.
That's true. That makes a lot of sense because I do recall when I lived overseas, it was a lot more fresh fruit stands, and the building that I lived in, there were at least two fresh fruit and vegetable stores that were readily available. And then you kind of come here and it's not, you know, it's not like that. So you're absolutely right. Let me ask you another question. We're in the middle of a global pandemic, and a lot of us have been stuck at home. I'm not going to really tell on myself. Okay. Okay. A lot of us have been stuck at home, right? And so, how has COVID 19 contributed to the nutritional challenges for African Americans?
Well, the biggest thing it has led to is more stress. More stress is definitely an impact on our nutrition and pre-existing condition. It compounds the pre-existing conditions such as hypertension and diabetes. Stress makes you not want to eat. Stress makes you want to eat poorly. You grab that bag of chips. You grab those cookies because it's comfort food.
Mhm.
For a lot of people, you internalize that stress. So that compounded with the fear of catching COVID,
Mhm.
the the shift in your normal everyday routine, the shift in losing your income for some, compounding more stress. So that impacts our nutrition, the stress part of it, and also the fact that the supply chain has been impacted. You could go to the grocery store, even if you're not in a food desert right now, and shelves are empty for some products because the supply chain has been interrupted or disrupted because of COVID.
Mhm.
So that also impacts our nutrition. If you don't have, like you said, a farmer stand or a fruit stand or farm or something local by you, you may have a challenging time right now trying to find certain fruits and vegetables. And that's for people who live in the suburbs.
Right.
So yes.
That's true.
So it's a combination of lack of, compounded by stress, compounded by already having, not everybody, because all Black people do not have diabetes and all
Right.
Black people do not have hypertension.
Right.
And
Right.
right. So yes, those factors just it's a deluge
Mhm.
of factors that are impacting our nutrition right now from COVID. So yeah, there are things we can do though.
What do you say to those people who I was watching a reality TV program. I won't say the name of the show.
Gasp.
I won't tell, all of my vices, right? But I was watching a reality TV show, and one of the guys on there, he has an autoimmune disease, and they brought in a nutritionist into the show, and she was going through his pantry and was like, throw that out, throw this out, this is not good, nope, 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 and nope. And he was just sitting there like, yeah, what are you doing? Not having it, not having it. He was very upset, right? And so one of the things he said is, my grandmother lived off of this and she lived off of that, and my grandfather did this and my grandfather did that, and they lived to be in their 90s. They didn't have diabetes. They didn't have, high blood pressure. They were healthy people. What do you say to people who feel like, their grandparents did it, their great grandparents did it, and they were healthy, but now our generation seemingly now are coming down with all of these, health challenges that are linked, to some of the food? What do we say to those people?
And there you go, right there is linked to some of the food. Our grandparents ate wheat bread. We don't eat wheat bread. We eat a simulation, what is called wheat, because they've stripped all the nutrients out. So our grandparents ate some of the same things, but it had more nutrition in it than what we are given today as food. So that's part of the problem. Our grandparents didn't eat a lot of processed food. They were out a lot of farm to table, which is a buzzword now, but they did farm to table. So yes, they ate a lot of the things that we eat now, but it was less processed. The chemicals were not in it. They weren't breathing as much pollution they weren't drinking as much pollution as we are being exposed to. We're being exposed to so many more chemicals and free radicals and things that they have put in, like I said, the food today. And that's why, unfortunately, we do have to alter some things, because it is not the same. It's the same name as the things our grandparents ate, but it's not the same end product.
Wow, I guess I didn't look at it like that. You might be on to something. I didn't think about it like that, because they did do a lot more farming and gardening and raising their own vegetables and fruits and things of that nature. So you're right. A lot more of our foods are processed, and so yeah, that makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense. So we're talking a lot about unhealthy eating and what that looks like, which may be uncomfortable to a lot of us. I will say that is uncomfortable. Okay. But what does healthy eating look like?
Well, healthy eating starts with your mindset. We have to change our relationship with food. We've been told that cookies are bad. We've been told that cake is bad. We've been told that this is that. And we have to stop saying things are bad and realizing that your body actually does need a little bit of everything, more greens and vegetables, of course, whole grains, but you can't just stop eating something, because that's just going to make your body want it more. Mm-hmm. So we eat healthy first by starting with our mind, changing our mindset and changing our relationship with food. And it's not overnight. It takes time. It's simple steps. So maybe we switch to sprouted grain bread as opposed to, maybe you're doing wheat bread now. Look at the ingredients on your bread. If the first 5 ingredients have sugar in it, then you may want to switch your bread brand and try with a sprouted grain. Try a softer sprouted grain first. Everybody wants to say go get Ezekiel bread, but Ezekiel bread is not for everybody. You need to work your way up to Ezekiel bread. That's a straight sprouted grain bread.
Okay.
Yes. So start with a sprouted grain bread as opposed to a whole wheat bread that may have a lot of sugar in it.
Okay.
It's small things, adding another serving of fruit to every meal, or your breakfast and your lunch, incorporating more vegetables, incorporating a salad at lunch. It's just simple things every day over time that start shifting your mindset, and definitely starts making this a lifestyle, because people want to get healthy, people want to get skinny so they can get into that dress for their reunion or their wedding or whatever, and that's not going to last. You have to change your mind to know that this is an everyday journey. You wake up every day, and what am I going to incorporate today? What great habit am I going to build on that I started yesterday? And it's all about building on those good habits. That's how you make it healthy. It's not forcing yourself. It's not going cold turkey. It's as simple as, today for lunch, I'm going to walk 10 minutes. This morning, I'm going to stretch. I'm going to wake up, I'm going to do 5-minute meditation, just simple little steps. So eating healthy is incorporating one good thing, lessening something that's not as good for the body. Because yes, I said there are no bad foods, but there are, if you do it too much, then yes, soda every day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, then yeah, you're going to see some negative impacts. Yeah. So substitute
where that may be a problem.
Substitute some sparkling water, and just like I said, maybe one less soda, because I have some people who are addicted to soda because it's sugar. Sugar is a drug.
Right.
So like I said, those small little substitutions, pick one, maybe one a week for some people, because it's a struggle, because you've been doing this for decades.
Yeah.
And if you slip, it's okay. Get back up. Stop beating yourself up. That's the biggest thing. Your mindset, making small habits, making small healthy changes every day. It's simple, but we make it so complicated because the diet industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Yeah.
It's all these magic pills and what do you call those little waist trainers that push your kidneys up through your throat so you can look good, and just
I'm talking about
all that illusion.
I'm talking about me, Dionne. Don't do it.
But we've all fell for it, and that's why that industry makes so much money off of us. But if we would just stop, and like I said, mindset and small steps, incorporating small steps and just building on those steps, and you'll get there.
It's true. So what about, I think the most recent thing I've been researching is the keto diet. I think that's the right way to say it.
And like all protein and
yeah. And I think the biggest thing that you mentioned it is that you're supposed to have a little bit of everything in your diet. And I haven't really jumped full-fledged into it because my concern has been, well, if you're supposed to have a little bit of everything, and now I'm getting a little bit older, and things are not moving the way it's supposed to move anymore. My metabolism isn't working anymore the way it's supposed to. So I'm not exactly sure how that's supposed to work really. I guess what I'm trying to figure out is there a long-term damage to your body when you deprive yourself of something you're supposed to have?
So think about your body. Well, think of like a car when you brake. If you come to a sudden stop, you're on a freeway and you go from 65 to 0. That force, that just is not natural. Everything is just flung forward. Right. So your body is being flung forward and thrown out of whack, stuff flying from the back seat. Your body needs it needs balance. So I think of some celebrities who have passed, and they're like, oh, well, what did they pass from? They passed from because they were trying to be skinny. Then they gained it all back. I'm going to be skinny again. I gained it all back. Your heart can't take that. That puts a lot of stress on your body. All of your internal organs, it takes a lot of stress, or puts a lot of stress on your body. So I'm not a fan of the latest and newest diet, but what I am a champion for is making sure you eat at least 85% of your food whole food, natural food, whole grains like buckwheat and quinoa and rye, and there are so many things, but fruits and vegetables, 85%. And we're going to talk about the water later. But that leaves you 15% to do what you what you want.
What you want?
But you have to incorporate movement. And you made a wonderful point about our metabolism as we age. And there are some supplements that you may start taking, but there are some natural supplements like capsaicin, which are found in peppers.
Okay.
So that's why we'll be making a recipe this later on.
Okay.
this later on in a few
Okay.
minutes that will help with that metabolism. So
Okay.
metabolism can be driven by nutrition, but it's mainly by movement. So as we get older, we may have to incorporate some weightlifting.
Mm-hmm.
Weightlifting helps with that lean muscle mass, which helps increases your metabolism. So that's something that we just have to consider. No, you won't bulk up, because a lot of women like, well, if I lift weights, I want to look like a man. No,
Mm-hmm.
you won't.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
There's a way to build lean muscle to keep your metabolism up, because we're fighting the M word,
Yeah.
hormones,
Yeah. All that.
aging,
All
and
that.
yes, so it makes it harder. Over 40, I'm not even gonna lie, it's harder, but
Mm-hmm.
it can be done. If you
Okay.
look at Ernestine Shepherd, if you've ever
Yes.
heard, okay, it can be done. Miss
Lord,
Ernestine is in her 80s with a
she
six pack.
wrote. She wrote.
Right, I have a picture of her in my room. Yes.
Wow.
So it can be done. It just takes some discipline,
Mm-hmm.
mindset, and those little steps every day.
Okay.
Physical steps and nutritional steps.
Okay. And definitely up
Yeah, that's
here.
what I said. That mindset. That's the biggest tackle right there. That
Absolutely.
negative thinking, which impacts the way we feel about ourselves, the way we eat when we start feeling sorry for ourselves. So it's a whole dissertation.
Absolutely. So let me ask you this. Okay, so we're in the middle of essentially dealing with a lot of racism coming out in the media. I mean, it is spilling out everywhere, and it's not something that we have not been dealing with. I mean, if you are an African American, you have dealt with racism your whole life. Okay.
Yes,
I read a quote that says racism didn't just start; it's now being filmed. Okay, so we're
exactly.
we're seeing it; it's playing out everywhere. And one of the things that I was sharing, with my nephew, is that what we're seeing now is just it's not even a full scratch of the surface, that's happening, but there's a whole system of racism, and one of the things I wanted to just talk to you just a little bit about is the racial disparities even in the food system, the food deserts. And
Yes.
so I was in Houston around Memorial Day. I was in Houston, and we went to the grocery store. And I'm not going to name the name of the store that we were in, but it is a chain of HEB. Okay. And everybody knows basically HEB in the South. I don't know if HEB is up where you are, but it's a major, major food chain. And everybody love HEB. I absolutely love HEB. It's one of those grocery stores that you just kind of want to go in and just walk around. I mean, it
Like
has
Trader
everything.
Joe's.
Oh yeah, it has everything. It's like you're bored, just walk around HEB. Like it's just one of those types of places. It's nice. They got little samples of food. They got little samples of wine. They got little samples. They got, people who are making sushi. They got all kinds of stuff
Oh,
going
like
on in
Sam's
HEB.
Club.
It's wonderful, right? It's wonderful. And so I was in the grocery store. I had never been to this grocery store, but I heard my mom talking about it a lot in times past. So we went to the grocery store, and I noticed immediately the setup of the grocery store, and then noticing the food, and noticing very urban foods, noticing a lot of etouffee, and noticing a lot of just stuff that we eat, stuff
Mhm.
that is very specific to our culture and our culture only. Noticing very specific drinks that's specific to our culture only. Noticing snacks that is very specific to our culture only. And I was offended. I was very offended. And so when we saw the baskets and saw all the HEB branding and things of that nature, And I said, so Ma, this is owned by HEB. And she said, yeah. So, that was it. And I was like, oh, okay. And of course nothing, and there was no like healthy, foods. There was no like organic section. There was no like, the real good foods or what have you. And I was very offended by that. So I said all that to say, when we consider the racial disparities, we're talking about eating healthy, we're talking about unhealthy eating. And the reality of it is it's very expensive. It can be very expensive to go to certain stores, and pick up healthier foods versus running into, another store and getting foods that are in a certain bracket. And I'm looking in the stores and, it's grab some noodles, 10 noodles in a pack, $4. I mean, it's nothing to it. And so what about the racial disparities? What do you think about that? How do we factor in the food deserts in our community and being able to access affordable, healthy food choices? Because that is a part of systemic racism. And the fact that we really don't have access to, healthy food choices.
Yes, because when Chuck D said fight the power, no one thought that you had to be fighting the power for healthy food as well. Because if our food is of poor quality, that means our health is of poor quality and we are less resistant to those that are in power. But there are programs, I found some phenomenal programs that I'm going to reach out to that are making an impact in the inner city, and it's us for us. And I'm going to actually like read off the programs and what they're doing and why they're effective. So the first one is the SWAG Project. They're in Newark, New Jersey. And why they work is because they get the children involved. They are teaching the children how to farm, how to be self-sustaining, the importance of eating healthy, and the exposure to different fruits and vegetables, and the variety of fruits and vegetables, because it's more to fruits and vegetables than apples and corn. You're like, I used to direct a school run by our local school district, and it was for pregnant teens. So we had a daycare, and of course most of the students look like us and they're babies. And I would just take different fruits down to the daycare. I would bring them to the class first just to see. I'm like, what is that? It's a kumquat. It's a dragon fruit. That ain't no fruit. So everybody's gonna go out buying kumquat, but just to make the point that there are so many things that we're not exposed to. I mean, some of the children didn't even know what a grapefruit was. Wow. So, things that we take for granted. So definitely the SWAG project starts with the children. So that's one way of impacting the food deserts, teaching the children, because most of the food deserts, why they don't have grocery stores, they do have land. And the community is using that land to turn it into gardens. So I thought that was phenomenal. So that's one way to impact food deserts, make gardens. So Deeply Rooted is right up the street from me in Detroit. And it is a mobile grocery store. So a couple got together, and there is a foundation called IOBY, and they give grants to food deserts and organizations that want to impact it, just like the question you're asking, how? So they created a mobile grocery store. So it's not just the grocery store, it's the healthy things that you can't find at their local grocery store. So they are being exposed to those fruits and vegetables and whole grains and root vegetables and things like that. So I thought that was powerful. So I was just like, wow, okay, how much does that take? She partners with a farmer. So the farmer provides the vegetables. She takes them into the inner city or where their grocery stores that only have, like you said, Kool-Aid and pork chops.
Right.
Right. But the third one, program, is AgriHood. And this is in Macon, Georgia. And I thought this one was powerful because they use what they got. They're like, we're already down here in Macon. We're already fighting. They fight racism. They still down there like it's the 50s and the 60s.
Wow.
Right. So they are using their land. They're realizing that we came from sharecroppers. Yes, it wasn't the most joyous time in our history, but they're going back to their land. They can't take they haven't taken our land from us. So the older members of the community are teaching the younger members of the community how to garden and how to grow their own food. And then they get together and they have a swap. You're growing this, I'm growing this. Everybody's growing something different, and they all get together at the end of the week and they have a swap and they do dishes showing how to make these vegetables and incorporating them into the diet. Mm-hmm. So that's how they're eliminating their food deserts. Okay. So I was just like, these are so many creative ways. I'm almost done, but I know we have to hurry up.
No problem.
So Prospect Community Garden is just like the other ones. They're planting gardens, teaching the neighborhood, clean up this trash. They've gone to abandoned lots and cleaned up the trash and made gardens out of that.
Okay.
So yeah. So the thing, and that's in Kansas City. So the thing is finding those foundations like IOB who are willing to provide money to eliminate or to counteract the negative effects of these food deserts, because it's amazing. I watched a documentary a few years ago about Brooklyn. I believe it was Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. And the lady was like, I had to go on a bus 45 minutes to get fresh fruit. And I'm just like, what? Wow. Like, I mean, you would think this would be 1950, but this was just a few years ago.
Yeah.
But if you look at some companies, even though they've been bought out by Amazon, but Whole Foods, they were going into some inner cities. Mm-hmm. There are chains that are making a concerted effort now to bring grocery stores with more than just, like you said, cultural cuisine.
Right.
So it's a piece of chipping away at the battle. Is not the complete battle, but there are solutions out there, and there are people out there providing those solutions. So my suggestion is to further research those companies that are making an impact and maybe see how I can bring it to my city. If you know there's a food desert, or how can I help you? How can I fund you? I mean, it has to be a way that we can make an impact on a greater good, especially as NCDW, to partner with a lot of these organizations that are impacting the food desert.
That makes sense. Matter of fact, send me your list.
Yeah.
Send me your list.
Because I was just impressed, because I know we have community gardens here in the inner city of Cleveland, and we have actually a corporation that has started raising catfish.
Oh, okay.
So they have not the stuff that it's the chemical. They're actually raising catfish, and then they have a garden. People can come buy groceries for like vegetables for like 10 cents, 20 cents, 25 cents. Mm-hmm. And they can use their SNAP. Here we call it SNAP. It's the food stamp card.
Right.
Yeah. So it's just amazing.
Yeah. I know it's a couple of schools here, a couple of charter schools that have it, but and I know a couple of like domestic violence shelters have them, but as far as like just like grocery stores and things of that nature, I do know one African American young lady here who opened a grocery store. But that's really it. And Dallas, Fort Worth is so large, till it's like, okay, I know her store from where I live, and this young lady's grocery store is about an hour drive. Wow. So yeah, definitely send me that list for sure, and I'll definitely keep searching to see what else is out there. Because I know
like I said, we may have to create some things to cut down that hour drive.
Might have to. I was offended walking in that grocery store. I was like, did they really
And think
create a
nothing of it,
grocery store?
and think nothing of it,
They
because
didn't.
they
And
don't have anybody on their board that looks like us. So they have this false conception of us.
yeah. It's like, so
Hmm.
this is how we doing things now. Okay. This is
Hmm.
okay. So I'm just gonna
Yeah,
buy my little groceries.
give them Kool-Aid and watermelon. They'll be happy. Yeah.
Right. It's like, okay, okay, okay. All right. So we could definitely stay on that forever because like I said, that is the climate that we're in right now, it's a mess. And we are attacking and dealing with a lot of the systemic racism. And I don't think people even realize that this is a part of it as well, where
Hmm. It's
racism hits
layers.
us in every
Hmm.
area. And police brutality is just, it's not even a full scratch of the surface. And
Right.
we can
It's a
stay there
system,
forever.
and it was built a long time ago. We can go back to
Absolutely.
1619, but that's a
You
whole
know,
nother story.
a whole other story. So, but I know that we have a demonstration. So, what I'm going to do now is I am going to put up the ingredients of our demonstration. It's vitamin water we're going to be doing. So I'm going to put up a demonstration. That'll give you time to go to your kitchen. That'll give me time to get into the kitchen. And that'll give everyone the opportunity who would like to participate. We'll also make sure that we share this and everything like that for people in the future who would like to, do this. But that'll give us time to, make sure that people have this information. But whoever would like to join us, we're going to put this up. Let's see here. Let's see if I'm doing this correctly here. How long have you been doing infused water?
I have been doing infused water for about 7 years. It's the only reason it was the only way that I could drink water back when I started actually, I started my fitness journey about a decade ago, but I really got serious about it. And I was like, my trainer was like, you need a gallon of water a day. And I was like, no, that's not going to happen because I can't, no. And so my grandmother's like, throw some apples in it and see if that helps.
Did
And
it
I was
help
like,
you?
oh, it did because the flavor. I was just like, oh, okay. So it helped me drink the water that I need to drink, which is about half of my body weight in ounces every day to keep your system clean, purified. Water purifies us. Water gives us life. Water gets the toxins out of our bodies. So when you definitely add fruits and herbs and things to your water, that just adds more nutrients. So that's another way that we get nutrients and help with our health journey. So yes, you can go to your kitchen.
So can you see everything okay?
I can see your Word document.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and head over to my kitchen.
Okay.
So Dionne, I have my cousin here that's going to be joining us. She's going to be making some infused water with us.
Welcome,
Her name is Cassandra Hall.
Hello.
Cassandra. I'm trying to get my thing here so that I can stand up.
I figured I'd have her learn some nutritional value on the infused water with us.
Okay.
So we're gonna wash our hands here.
Yes. So we're gonna make this, you wanna make the screen bigger, or you just wanna leave the ingredients up?
So we're gonna both be in the kitchen. We're gonna be your guinea pigs here. All right. Now, have you ever done infused water? No. Okay, so we're both new to the infused water.
Oh, wonderful. All righty. So, like I said, water hydrates us. Water cleanses us. Water helps keep us regular. A lot of people have problems with, like, well, why can't I? And I'm like, well, have you had any water? I'm like, oh, no, not really. And the thing is, if you feel thirsty, you're already thirsty. It's your body lets you know, I have a headache. Why am I getting this headache? Yeah, it could be sinus issues, but most of the things that happen to us are because we're dehydrated. So I advise in the beginning, women or most people just drink 8 glasses of water a day. That's like 64 ounces of water. If you're working out, especially in the summertime, you're sweating more, you're losing more water in your body. So you can bump it up, go 72, make it a little bit more. Some people are courageous and do a gallon a day. That's if you are going to be by a restroom. I'm just going to let you know that right now.
Okay. Okay, good looking out.
Right. So the first one I'm going to make is blueberry, lemon, and mint. Okay. Blueberries provide antioxidants for our bodies, which fight free radicals, which damage our bodies internally. The lemon, once again, is a detox. It purifies your body, so it cleanses. And then mint has the vitamins, the A, the calming part. So you put them together. It's real simple. I have a cup of blueberries here. Okay. I'm gonna put them in this one I'm gonna use the mason jar because I'm making a small batch. Okay. So hopefully I don't get blueberries all over my floor. You may say, why do I need a whole cup of blueberries? Well, because the water is going to sit in the container overnight and you want it to extract the nutrients. So the nutrients are going to be pulled from the skins or oils of your vegetables. Excuse me, not your vegetables, your fruit. So I'm going to put in a lemon, 3 to 4 slices. So a cup of blueberries, 3 to 4 slices of lemon. And
go ahead and put the slices in the jar?
Yes, in the jar. So I'm gonna leave it right here. Hopefully you can see it there. Here we go. So 1 cup of fresh blueberries, 3 to 4 slices of lemon, 1 to 2 fresh mint leaves. Just gonna put it all in there. And then it's just real simple. You just pour your water in. And like I said, you're going to leave it in your refrigerator overnight because you want it to infuse.
How many of the leaves you said?
1 to 2 mint leaves. You can smash them to bruise them if you want to draw out some of draw more of the mint flavor out. And I say 1 or 2 because some people may not like mint as much, but it has healing properties. So I use the mason jar because it's just easier to seal. And it looks pretty too. But I just shake it, turn it up and down, and then I put it in my refrigerator overnight. And there, Mia had a great question earlier before we got on about water being cold and why it is it is advised to drink room temperature water because ice cold water impedes your body's digestion. So this water will be cold when you get it out of the refrigerator in the morning. You can let it sit for a little bit so it's not ice cold. It doesn't have to be lukewarm, but it will definitely, you'll be able to taste your lemon, your blueberry. People are like, that's not going to work, but it does work. Give it a try.
How long does it take before you start to, I guess, feel the effects of it?
Well, with the detox water, it happens like within an hour. Not, you're just going to, like, your body wants to flush, the lemon's going to start flushing toxins out of your body. So yeah.
So this is considered a detox.
Yes. So anything mainly with lemons helps detox. The purpose of the lemons is to detox the body. But the blueberries helps with the antioxidants and the free radicals that attack the inside of your body, and also with memory boosting.
Okay.
So you can eat 2 cups of blueberries a day. It helps with your memory, which is another thing. There's so many different benefits of each of the elements within it. So I'm just giving a couple. You can do more research to see more about mint because each of them have about 10 or 12 different properties that they assist with individually. So that's why I like the combination of them. So that's the blueberry mint lemon. Now the next one I'm making, I'm going to double because I like spicy. And like I said, spicy, we talked about being over 40 and our metabolism slowing down. Mm-hmm. Well, capsaicin is found in peppers and it accelerates the heart rate in a natural way and it helps speed up your metabolism. You get your cheeks may feel a little flushed when you drink it or when you eat a pepper. That's purifying the blood, getting the blood flowing and increasing the metabolism. So that's why I love this one so much. I call it a spicy citrus drink or spicy lemonade. So if you're using the regular mason jar, you're going to just use 1 sliced lemon. Just going to put your lemons in. As you said, I said I'm going to double it because I'm using a larger jar for this one because this is my favorite. But 1 lemon if you're using a small. Okay. 1 lime, just slice the lime. Okay. Now, 1 chili pepper. You can use a finger pepper. If you use a habanero, whatever you use, please use gloves when touching peppers. You don't want the oils and touch your face and touch your eyes and burn yourself. You definitely want to slice it down the middle and take the seeds out and the membrane, the white part that the seeds are attached to, because that's where most of your heat is with your peppers.
You said take the seeds out, you said?
Yes, so slice it down the middle. Make sure you have on gloves unless you're used to spicy stuff. Take those seeds out, because if you put the seeds in your water, you're gonna have to strain your water before you drink it, unless you don't mind swallowing seeds. So it just calls for 1 chili pepper. I just slice mine up into little strips because, like I said, I'm just doubling the recipe because I'm using a larger jar for this recipe. Mm-hmm. And like I said, if you do leave the seeds in, that's fine. Don't panic. You just have to strain it before you drink it in the morning. And this one calls for more mint than the first recipe. So it's 2 to 3 leaves of mint. And mint aids in digestion as well. It calms and mint. A lot of people drink mint tea. If you look at the ancient Chinese remedies, a lot of things had mint and other herbs. So yes, mint is beneficial for our mental health as well as calming our spirit. And I gotta put the top back on the water because I need to put it in here.
I think this pepper already in my nose.
That's why I said. That's why I said definitely use gloves.
Ooh.
And wash your hands before you touch anything. I don't want you getting anything, even though people do pepper facials. I don't know how, but they do.
And then go ahead and pour the water in.
Pour your water on in. Yes, thank you. And you can just turn it up and down. And that's that simple. You, once again, put it in the refrigerator overnight. Let it infuse. There are so many different combinations of vitamin water. I love vitamin water because, like I said, I just had a problem in the beginning just trying to drink regular water because it was just regular water. You can go on Kindle, you can go on Amazon, and you can find vitamin water books. I mean, hundreds of recipes, different combinations. I mean, it's endless, which I love. I mean, you can do strawberries and basil. You can do cinnamon and apples. You can do just the lime and the lemons by itself and mint without the peppers. And that'll be a complete detox because you have the two citruses together and the mint. But I add the peppers for the little kick to it just to rev up my metabolism. So thank you, Miss Mia. It's fun.
Wait. So you know I'm gonna call you when I do the citrus one, the spicy citrus one, because I'm already coughing over here, and the spiciness is in my nose. So I'm like, Dionne, help me.
The water will dilute it.
Huh?
The water will dilute it.
Okay.
It'll be all infused. It'll be like lemonade without all the sugar, which we definitely don't want because this has natural sugar in it from the fruit.
Okay.
With just a little kick in the back. But we didn't use habanero, so it's not going to be that spicy.
Not going to be okay. Oh my. I'm going to do it this week. You said it has to be in the refrigerator for 24 hours.
Yeah, or overnight. It doesn't have to be 24 hours. It can be overnight. But the thing is, finish it within 48 hours.
Okay.
Because the fruit loses its nutrients.
Okay.
So you lose the value of the properties of the benefits. You lose the benefits if you stay in more than 48 hours. And plus, this is supposed to be done anyway. Like I said, if you're getting those 8 ounces in, that's supposed to be done.
Okay, that makes sense.
So that's the goal. You can, some people don't like to drink it with the fruit. I keep calling them vegetables with the fruit in it. So they strain it out into a carrier cup.
Okay.
They have the cups, the fruit infused cups that has a little plastic cylinder down the middle. Mm-hmm. And that way you can put your fruits in the middle so they're not in the drink. Okay. But it's still infusing the drink. So there are different ways that you can drink it. Okay. But for me, I don't have a problem. I mean, it's not like you're going to take a whole lemon down the throat. True. I don't know. Stranger things have happened. We are living in a pandemic. Who knows?
This is very true. We've seen a lot in these last few months. So just never know.
So yeah, if you wish, like I said, you can just leave all the fruit in and just strain it out and just have the flavor and the essence of the water.
Right. That makes sense.
So it's up to you. Like I said, it's your journey. It's your mindset. Like I said, we got through a lot of information. I know we threw a lot at you this evening, but if nothing else you take away, remember your mindset and your relationship with food is going to be the first step into you making health a lifestyle and not a fad. So change one thing. Don't try to change 50. And don't beat yourself up. Okay. We're all in this together.
Taking off the boxing gloves. Yeah. Got it. Listen, Dionne, thank you so much for agreeing to talk to me today. I appreciate you very much. And this has been informational for us. And so once again, I appreciate you, Dallas Metropolitan Chapter. We love you out there in Greater Cleveland. And thank you to my special guest, my cousin, Cassandra Hall, for joining us for the demonstration. We appreciate you. And we thank you very much. We hope you enjoy your evening. And thank you to all who are joining us. We hope this has been helpful for you and that something was said will help you on your journey as well. Thank you all, ladies, and good night.
Good night. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.